Hey, what's going on, Who That Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast. Thank you so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast, where we talk New Orleans Saints. Well, Who That Nation? What do you want to talk about? I mean, it's just painstakingly obvious, right? Tonight's edition of the State of the Saints podcast, we're going to be talking about all pro safety Tyrann Matthieu. And the New Orleans Saints have come to terms with hometown hero, LSU legend, and also a really good NFL player in his own right, Tyrann Matthieu. He will get a 3-year, $33 million contract with $18 million guaranteed. This is according to Adam Schefter of ESPN. First off, I think that I speak for a lot of members of the Who Dat Nation when I say I did not think that I'm lying. I thought they had a really strong chance to get Tyrann Matthieu, especially after the NFL draft. I said at the beginning when he went to visit the team, I said I didn't expect for him to sign a contract because that wouldn't have been very smart. I mean, you probably would have, lost a couple $1,000,000, right? Because the Saints could have easily went into the draft and maybe got the guy that they wanted. I think that they wanted the safety out of Penn State, but he ended up going a pick right before the Saints, and they end up getting Taylor in the process. But look, this is a good move. This was a move that needed to be made. Tyrann Matthieu, in my opinion, makes your secondary even better than it was last year. No disrespect to Marcus Williams, no disrespect to Malcolm Jenkins. It's just a fact. What this guy possesses on the field is something that a lot of guys don't have. This guy plays with passion, heart, instincts. I mean, he is one of the best secondary players, the best safeties in football. And by signing with the New Orleans Saints, they're a better secondary today. Now, I know some people are excited about this and they talk about Super Bowl, this, that, and the third. I just say pump your brakes. All right. I think that you should be optimistic about the New Orleans Saints. I think that you should be happy that this happened. I know I am, but I am not going to fall down that rabbit hole. Okay. I like to see things play out. I've seen on so many occasions where a team looks good on paper, but they just can't put it together on the field. I remember a couple of years ago when people had the Saints as a Super Bowl favorite, right? When they was getting guys like Adrian Peterson and Champ Bailey was at training camp and stuff like this. And all of a sudden, everybody just talking about the Saints was going to go to the Super Bowl. The Saints didn't even make the playoffs. A couple of years before that, the Philadelphia Eagles, they got all that talent when they signed Nnamdi Asomugha from the Raiders. And then you had Dominique Raj-Camardi out there. And then you had Vince Young and Michael Vick. And all of a sudden, they were supposed to be some type of super team. And they ain't make the playoffs. So I don't buy into all of that hype that people are trying to put out there. I'm excited that Tyrann Matthieu is with the New Orleans Saints. I think that he is going to play with his hair on fire. The fact that he's from New Orleans and he knows what the team actually means to the city. Him being a graduate of St. Aug, I just think that he wanted to be here, and I think that's a plus. Or when a guy wants to be with an organization, I think that is a plus. So the Saints, congratulations. I would say once again, I'm shocked, but I'm not. But this is a good move. All the people out there that were very skeptical about the Saints front office and Dennis Allen, you could tell that there's a difference in Dennis Allen and Mickey Loomis joining forces together than that of a Sean Payton. I think Sean Payton, to me, towards the latter years of his Saints coaching career, I just think that he coached with a level of arrogance, and sometimes that cost the team. And that includes getting all these undrafted free agents because he felt, well, we got Drew. And then all of a sudden, you didn't have Drew anymore. And then he still decided to keep those undrafted free agents because I think that he just felt like he can just do it with anybody. This is a guy, to me, that wants to get system guys inside of the organization, right? They want to get system guys. And that's what I said the Saints need to get away from. And hopefully they will. When you have a bunch of guys that are just a bunch of role players, I say that all the time on here. You got one guy that can stretch the field, he can run fast, so you have him running street routes. You got one guy who's probably fundamentally sound running routes, so you probably put him in the slot. The Saints have been working like this for years, and I just feel like when it came to big time moments, when it comes to crunch time, you don't have those guys that got that gear. You probably have a few guys like a Kamara and a Michael Thomas, but what about the rest of the guys? I just think that you have some guys out here, they get a little bit of that big profile, prime time, and they start shrinking under the bright lights. People like Traquan Smith, people like, I mean, just so many of them, like that in big moments, they just don't show up. They don't show up, and the Saints don't need that. So hopefully they can start a brand new culture, a culture where you can go out here and get the obvious. Like everybody thought the Saints were going to get Chris Olave. I mentioned Chris Olave. You mentioned Chris Olave. And they got Chris Olave, right? Then all of a sudden, we was like, man, the Saints, they need a safety. They got Tyrann Matthieu. So to me, it's obvious, for you to go with the obvious, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with going with the obvious. You here to talk about the Honey Badger too? Huh? Say who that? All right. All right, we're going to answer some questions. You okay with that?
Yes, question.
Yeah, some questions. Okay. Let's see. Thank you, everybody that's here. As y'all can see, the Packet Man. That was the reason I was a little late about starting the show. I had to change the times. I was trying to put him to sleep, but as y'all can see, he ain't having none of that. So he'll be here for a few minutes to talk about the Honey Badger. Ramsey says, who that TJ and fam? Now that we got the Honey Badger, you better believe he is talking to Jarvis. Yeah, that was it too. As I passed Paxton to my wife. You gonna say bye to everybody? Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Come on. Time to go to bed, okay? All right. All right. Thanks, man. But anyway, yeah, Jarvis Landry. Hey, man. Hey, this is live, man. This is live as live can be. So, hey, man, I'm a father first. It is what it is. But anyway, Jarvis Landry, yeah. I definitely sent the tweet out to Jarvis Landry, like, man, they got room for one more. They got room for more. Like Jarvis Landry is an incredibly talented wide receiver. I think that the Saints are trying to win it all. I really do. I think the Saints are trying to win it all. I think that the Saints are trying to put their best foot forward. And I'm going to be real with you, man. I like this aggressive New Orleans Saints organization that I'm seeing right now. Now, it may not pan out. It may not pan out. They might, like miss the playoffs. Heck, they might not even be what we expect for them to be. But I respect the effort. Like them not trying, them not being aggressive, them acting like they got Brandon Moss, Julio Jones, and AJ Brown all in a wide receiver room. And, knowing that you need linebackers and knowing that you need tight ends and just feel like, oh, Sean Payton, like, oh, man, I'm going to just run it with him. I'm going to just run this offensive scheme here. I'm going to just throw him the ball on that out route. Like, I'm so glad that it seems to me like they're getting away from that stuff. And to me, also, I feel like they listening to the fans. Like, it's not – now, you got fans out there that got some asinine ideas. But sometimes, like, the ideas that we have as fans and as spectators may make a lot of sense, right? And I just think that the Olave, acquisition, the Trevor Penning acquisition, I feel like all that makes sense. If it didn't make sense, then, we'll probably say something about it. And I don't feel like if it didn't make sense, they weren't selected. So we be on to something. I just think that Sean Payton was with the New Orleans Saints for so long. He developed, he developed a reputation for winning. And how can you argue with somebody that wins, right? Even if you don't necessarily agree with what they're doing. So But I like this aggressive approach, man, and I'm happy that the New Orleans Saints got Tyrann Matthieu, and hopefully it don't stop. Maybe we can bring in Jarvis Landry. Maybe by Tyrann Matthieu coming to the New Orleans Saints, it'll make it a little bit more appealing to Jarvis Landry, even though if he on a 1-year deal. Honey Badger, Lattimore, C.D. Deuce, Marcus Bay, P.J. Williams, Taylor, Roby, with the rest of those DBs. I don't even think, did you mention a Debo on here? I don't even think, I don't see a Debo over there. With the rest of these DBs, there's a no-fly zone type of secondary. Well, I do think that the secondary is going to be like the best part of the team, which it should be. That was Dennis Allen's calling card. Dennis Allen, first time around with the New Orleans Saints when they made that magical Super Bowl run, he was the secondary's coach. So I expect for the Saints secondary to be good. And also Chris Richard, who is a really good secondaries coach and also a really good defensive coordinator. Look, I do not feel like it's a coincidence that when Chris Richard signed with the New Orleans Saints last year, that the New Orleans Saints defense was one of the best in the league. Everywhere this dude goes, the defense that he just so happens to be around ends up being a top 5 defense. We got to win right now because I don't think that you're going to have Chris Richard, and I don't think you're going to have Ryan Nielsen this next year. Okay, so they're going to have to make something happen. I think those two guys are the special sauce on the sandwich that is the New Orleans Saints. Seriously. I think if you lose those guys, that's when you're going to really start seeing this defense fall back. I think the defense took about 4-5 steps forward when Chris Richard signed. And I don't think that that's a coincidence. I mean, maybe you think so, but I don't. I'm going to scroll down a little bit. And let's see. Dana says, Pac-Man, smash that like button, family. Yeah, if you enjoy the content, please hit that like button. Pac-Man, will Jarvis come too? Slim South, I'm not sure. It would be a good addition. It would be. I think that if he does come, you might push some guys back on the depth chart. But here's the thing. I'm tired of projects, right? I'm just tired of projects. As a fan, I'm sick of projects. It's rather a guy got it or he doesn't. If you don't have it, then it's time to move on. Like I like guys like Callaway. I like Deontay Harris or Hardy. Traquan Smith, I just feel like he probably ain't gonna make the team based on what I'm looking at. And if he does, then it's probably his production probably gonna be diminished. But here's the thing. I'm just tired of projects. I'm tired of guys who got to wait 2 and 3 years. I want to see a finished product. That's what I want to see, man. I want to see a finished product on the field. I want to see guys that I don't have to wait to see what type of player that they're going to be. Like I want to see guys get off the bus giving me what I want to see. Big time plays and big time moments. The lights ain't too bright for them. And yes, if you're a rookie, you're playing in your first game, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a level of nerves. But as the season go on, you become more sure about yourself. You're more confident. You're like, man, I can go out here. I don't care who I'm lined up against. I can be lined up against Jalen Ramsey, Jair Alexander, Marshawn Lattimore himself at practice. He about to get this work. That's what I want. And I just feel like, to me, there's a bunch of wide receivers on the New Orleans Saints team that are just happy to be there. And in big time moments, they shrink. You don't see them. You don't find them. You're hoping that they can make a catch in a big time moment. And when we're looking at guys like Michael Thomas to come through, sometimes I just feel like, wouldn't it be nice if we seen another wide receiver with that dog mentality come through? I'm happy Michael Thomas come through because he's a number 1 receiver. He should come through. But I want to see it in my 2, in my 3. I want guys that have that mind frame no matter where they are on the depth chart, they have a number 1 receiver mind frame. Because that, my friends, what has been missing from the New Orleans Saints for a lot of years. You have one guy that's out there to show of himself and a bunch of guys that just happy that they ain't got to be eating Vienna sausage and beanie weenies no more. Seriously. And they play like it too. Like, man, I'm so happy to be out here. I wonder if my mom watching. Look, man, I ain't got no time for that. Give me some dogs out there, man, that's gonna show up in the playoffs, right? That's gonna be making big plays, right? That's gonna get separation, right? When Michael Thomas getting doubled. when Alvin Kamara is being neutralized, where that other guy gonna be at that's gonna step up and gonna give you a touchdown or two? Where the needle movers? Like there's too much of, man, I like this guy. He's a really good guy. I like him. He's great. Like, I don't care. I don't care if you like him. This ain't a popularity contest, man. This ain't Survivor or a Big Brother or whatever. You know what I'm saying? When you vote for your favorite person, this ain't America's Got Talent. This is the NFL. And it's rather you got that dog mentality or you don't. Okay? Like, save that for America's Got Talent. Save that for the Masked Singer. You know what I'm saying? Send your vote in that way. I want some guys that's going to go out there and perform at a high level. And if you're not doing that, then find somebody else. Seriously. Hoodie Jew, thank you very much for the $4.99. Says, what up, TJ? We both live at the same time. Answer the question for me. Your top 5 guys from the undrafted free agent and will make the team, by the way, 24 subs away from 1,000. Well, that's great, Hoodie Jew, man. Congratulations to you. Glad that you're that close, man. And look, man, if you have not subscribed to the channel, man, you can be one of those 24 that can help him get to 1,000. So make sure that y'all subscribe to the channel. But my top 5, man, I mean, honestly, there's only a few guys that I'm really rooting for. CJ Holmes, of course, I'm being very biased because he's from Jackson State University, the Jackson State University. Also, he's a hometown guy. Also, the wide receiver out of Nickel State, who's also a hometown guy. Shouts out to Ed in the car. Want to give a special shout out to Abram. Abram out there, who was the running back for Baylor. I expect for him to make the team. Okay. Smoke Monday, a guy that everybody's talking about out of Auburn. I expect for him to make the team. And also the tight end out of Pittsburgh. I've seen some highlights on him. I like what I see. I like the fire. I like the passion. I'm loving that. I think that he's going to end up making the team. But besides that, I think that's about it. Okay, that's about it, man. You got some cornerbacks out there, but it's going to be hard for a guy to come in unless you like to be a real good special teams ace. It's going to be hard for you to make this team, man. Based on what the Saints have in the secondary, it's going to be tough. Okay, I think that the way that you're going to make the team and the easiest way for you to make the team probably be at the running back position. I feel like there's still an open spot for a running back, especially if Alvin Kamara ends up being on suspension. Tony Jones Jr., I mean, you look all right, but he always hurt. But they say hell when he well, but he's sick all the time. We can't have a sick guy out there, because he's never going to be out there. If linebacker, there's some room for that, even though the Saints, drafted DeMarco Jackson out of Appalachian State. So there's still pieces, of this team, and there's still opportunities for guys to make the team. And also, I just think that, this is a new coach, Dennis Allen. Like, Dennis Allen, to me, it don't seem like he wants some choir boys on his squad. I like what he said when it came to Trevor Penning. I like what he said about him. He said, I'd rather, coach a guy, that coach him, to be like level-headed than, to me to try to light a fire under his ass. I like that, right? When you look at a guy like Trevor Penning, people talking about, man, penalties. Look, bro, too many choir boys on this squad. You know what I'm saying? We need some dogs, right? I don't want to go back to like the 2016, 2017. Them boys were straight soft, right? You want somebody that's going to be able to hit somebody in the mouth. You want somebody that, you may not want to hit, but you want somebody that may garner a flag every now and then. At least this dude playing with passion. Like, we want all this fundamental stuff, man. You want fundamentals, man? Go watch Greg Popovich and the San Antonio Spurs. I want some dogs. I want some Ja Morants on my team. You know what I'm saying? I want some Alvarados on my team. You feel me? That's what I want. I don't want none of these quiet boys, all these guys. Oh, I'm just happy to be here. I don't want none of that. All right? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you want fundamentals? Go watch the early 2000 San Antonio Spurs. They don't get no fundamental than that. I want a Ja Morant that's going to dunk on you figuratively. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want somebody that's going to go out there and talk noise. Like C.D. Deuce folding his arms in the greatest quarterback of all time's face disrespectfully. That's what I want, man. I want a guy that's like, I don't care who you are, where you from, what you did, you about to get to work. And yes, there was some lyrics from the Backstreet Boys. But seriously, man, that is what I want. And that's what you should want too. If you don't want that, man, then I don't know what to tell you. Ace, will Pete Carmichael keep that same vertical? Yes, man. Ace, what like Ace? Have you seen Pete Carmichael's offense when Sean Payton is nowhere in the vicinity? The Saints averaged over 400 yards of total offense when Pete Carmichael was the sole play caller. So yes, I expect for them to be very vertical, and also expect for them to run the football. I expect for them to bring in a running game, right? Because what I notice about defensive guys who end up becoming head coaches, they fall in love with the running game because it's the most physical part of the offense. If you throwing the ball, it's a little bit fundamental. It's almost fundamental, right? So they like that smash mouth, punch you in the mouth, disrespectful type football. That's what they like. So I expect for the New Orleans Saints to run the football more so with Dennis Allen than they did with Sean Payton. Who that dude says Abraham ran for over 1,600 yards last year at Baylor. Yeah, and I like him. Big guy, physical. He reminds me, his running style, reminds me of Mark Ingram. Mark Ingram not going to really shake you out your shoes and nothing like that, but he going to finish the run. The only thing that bothers me about him, and I think it's going to take some time, is his decision making when trying to hit a hole, right? If you ever played running back or seen somebody play running back, you know one thing. And that one thing is you got to be able to find the hole quick. You got to, you know what I'm saying? You got to be able to make really good decisions. In the NFL, you got to be able to make that decision and live with it. So I think that he's probably going to need some work. His pass protection to me is above average, better than some of the other running backs I see come out the draft. I mean, that was actually drafted. So that's a plus. But I do think that his decision makers needs to improve. But if you start to work alongside guys like Mark Ingram, guys like Alvin Kamara, I expect for him to be pretty doggone good and have a strong possibility to make a team, especially if you have a guy like Alvin Kamara being out for a couple of games, which I feel like that's most likely going to happen. That boy Smoke Money already trolling the Falcons. Yeah, I seen that. He was riding through Atlanta, and he said, y'all going to have to come see me twice, which – hold on, what am I doing? Hold on, let me exit out. I don't know why I'm hearing background noise of myself. Y'all can hear that? Hold on one second. I apologize, folks. I don't know why I'm hearing like background noise of myself. I'm definitely hearing ghosts. I mean, I'm definitely seeing ghosts. I don't know what that other. Okay, am I back? All right. I don't think I can hear myself again. Can y'all hear me now? I hope so. This is insane, man. So yep, that's the thing about being loud. Okay. Can y'all hear me? All right, folks. I'm gonna go ahead and end the show, and I'll try to see if I can log back in. So I apologize for the inconvenience, but I don't know what's going on. So I'll be back in a minute.